Hey guys, welcome to the OTAT session which is on ophthalmic instruments. Dr. Rajaratna here. Question number 1, identify the instrument. Now for you to identify this instrument, you have to identify what surgery this is. So this is a cataract surgery. Phacoemulsification is being performed. Okay, so it is phacoemulsification. Now can you see here through the dilated pupil, you can see the cataractous lens which is being phacoemulsified. Now, this is instrument number 1 through the main port and this is instrument number 2 through the side port. So, my question is about instrument number 1, which is your phacoprobe. Okay. Now, phacoprobe, as you all know, has a titanium needle which vibrates at ultrasonic frequencies. Ultrasonic frequency is always more than 20,000 Hertz, but typically the needle usually is at 40,000 Hertz, way higher. Okay, so definitely above ultrasonic, but your textbook value is 40,000, so we'll stick to 40,000 Hertz. All right. Okay, now what is the second instrument? Second instrument is a chopper which helps to chop the nucleus into little fragments so that it can be emulsified and aspirated by our phacoprobe. Now what is this blue thing around the phacoprobe? This is a silicone sleeve, okay, which helps to protect the endothelium from the heat generated by the phaco machine, okay, by the phacoprobe. So it helps to dissipate the heat. All right. Now question number 2, this instrument is used in cataract surgery to create. So first of all, what is this instrument? This instrument is a crescent knife or a crescent blade. Okay, now why do we call it a crescent? Because if you look at the tip, it's like a crescent. You know the moon, right? So the moon is like a crescent most of the days of the month. So this is a crescent, and what is it used to? It is used to create a sclerocorneal tunnel. Okay, it is used to create a sclerocorneal tunnel. Now if you see, it is beveled at the sides and also at the tip, and you got the cutting edge here. Okay, so as you keep maneuvering through in a zigzag motion, slow zigzag motion, you know, it slices through the scleral collagen, through the limbus and into the cornea, thereby creating this nice sclerocorneal tunnel. Okay, now my question to you is, sclerocorneal tunnel is the hallmark of which particular surgery? Which particular cataract surgery? All right. Okay, so see here the incision, you should see the placement of the incision. It's 1 to 2 millimeter behind the limbus. Now let's go back to question number 1, where you see the incision. The instrument is going in through the peripheral clear cornea. Okay, so phacoemulsification is basically designed all over the world. Surgeons do it through a peripheral clear corneal incision. All right, so that means this is something else, although phacoemulsification may be done through a sclerocorneal tunnel, but usually not. All right. Okay, so you can see the cataract here, so you should observe everything. All right. Okay, so you go to the next question. Name the instrument and its use. Most of you got it correct. So this is a wire vectis. Okay, the instrument's name is wire vectis, and what is its use? Let's take a look. Now you can see the lens, the nucleus of the lens. So the instrument is placed beneath the nucleus of the lens. All right. So see again through an incision here. So that means there's a sclerocorneal tunnel which is made through which the instrument is passed. And now when you withdraw the wire vectis, the nucleus is getting delivered. So what is its use? In the delivery of the nucleus, just like we deliver a baby. So this is our baby in ophthalm, that we are delivering nucleus. All right. Now there's another question for you, question number 2, that you will be answering in the comment section, which is, look at this ragged edges. Which anatomical structure of the lens does this belong to, and what step in the cataract surgery has been done, and in what technique? Okay, so my question is having 3 parts. Which anatomical structure what is the step or procedure, and what is the technique. Okay, so there are 3 parts to this question. Think about it and answer carefully. Question number 4, name the instrument. So this is an IA cannula. So what is IA? Irrigation and aspiration. Okay, irrigation and aspiration. Now what is the full name? Because your examiner is not going to accept if you're just going to say IA cannula. It's Simcoe's two-way irrigation aspiration cannula. Never say IA. Use the full term, irrigation and aspiration. Now I'll explain everything. So Simcoe was a guy who devised the instrument. Two-way. Why two-way? Because we have fluid coming in, because this will be connected to the Ringer lactate irrigating solution or the BSS salt solution. So one way, and this part is going to be connected to a syringe. Okay, to a syringe. So when we pull the piston, there's a negative energy that is suction that is created, vacuum that is created. So there is aspiration that happens. So there's a two-way flow, irrigation and aspiration. That's why this is called Simcoe's two-way irrigation aspiration cannula. And what is its use? What do we aspirate? So we aspirate cortical matter that is left after nucleus delivery, okay, in case of ECCE and SICS. And number 2, when we want to do an anterior chamber wash to remove the blood that is hyphema, which is not resolving to treatment, or very rarely hypopion that is not responding to medical management. Okay, pus in the anterior chamber, very rarely. All right, so these are the uses of Simcoe's two-way irrigation aspiration cannula. All right, question number 5, name the instrument. So this instrument, most of you have got it correct. So this is used for evisceration. So this is called an evisceration spoon or scoop or curette. Okay, now what exactly you want to use out of these 3, please verify with your internals in your department, because you will have to survive in the department and pass. So please be a Roman while you're in Rome. Any of the 3 can actually be used. Now this is Bunge's. Okay, it was designed by Bunge's. So Bunge's evisceration spoon. Now there's another one which is Mule's evisceration. Again, you can call it spoon or spatula. Okay, spoon or spatula. Now this is Mule's. So it's got a nice convex surface through which you can bring out all the contents, intraocular contents during evisceration. So I'm going to give you a snapshot about this evisceration surgery. Okay, so evisceration surgery is akin to eating out of an ice cream ball. Now how do you eat an ice cream ball? First you take off the cap, and then you scoop all that is inside, and at the end what is left, all that is left is this white shell. Yes, so exactly that way. And we are going to use ice cream scoops or little spoons like this one. Yes, so are you reminded of that spoon that I just showed you? Yes, so we have tiny ice cream scoops or spatulas like this that is being used for doing evisceration. Okay, let's see the different steps. And evisceration is the least radical of all the surgeries that we do in ophthalmology. Okay, now look at this. So we are cutting on the cornea. We are cutting out the cornea, right, at the limbus. Now before that, if you notice here, what has been done? The conjunctiva has been cut. So this procedure is called as peritomy. When you cut open the conjunctiva, it's called peritomy, and we've done it all around. So there's a 360-degree peritomy. Only then I can approach the limbus to cut out the cornea. And now can you see the corneal button is almost out. Now what do we do next? Next we are introducing the spatula and trying to bring out all the intraocular contents. So see, the lens and the other structures are out. Now what is this black thing? Choroid. Okay, the uveal tissue is coming out because you know it has melanin. So we are scraping out everything until only the scleral shell remains. Only the white scleral shell remains. Yes. So this is evisceration. So at the end of evisceration, all the intraocular contents are out, and then we irrigate this cavity with antibiotic solution, and we can put an implant primarily or secondarily. All right. So this is evisceration surgery. All right. And you all know for panophthalmitis, the treatment of choice is evisceration, and enucleation is contraindicated. What about that? I'll be talking in the next video. I hope you understood evisceration. It's just like eating out of an ice cream ball. Okay. Now, a lot of pictures today, so I'm sure it had kept off the fear of ophthal. And this is my Telegram group, because every time I forget to update you on the Telegram group. And my questions are always put on Telegram group, my Facebook page, Facebook group. All right. So what next? So instruments are going to continue. I hope you enjoyed this session and learnt as much. Yes. Thank you guys. God bless you all.